I'll declare the meeting open at 12:30. Would you all be upstanding, please, for the affirmation? We recognise the traditional owners of the land. We are inspired by the early pioneers and by those who gave their lives for our country. We now ask God's blessing on our deliberations and on our commitment to build a better lifestyle and environment. Thank you. Please be seated. This council meeting is being recorded and live streamed to council's YouTube channel. The recording will also be made available on council's website. Whilst all care is being taken to ensure your privacy is maintained, please be aware your presence may be recorded. Do I have any absent councillors today?
Councillor Karen Hislop's an apology.
Thank you very much. Okay. Would I have someone to move that? That's you, Lauren. Can someone please second that?
Yes, Mr Mayor, happy to second.
Thank you, councillor. All right, I'll put that to the vote. Carried. Now I would like a confirmation of the minutes. Could I please have a confirmation of the minutes?
Yes, Mr Mayor, happy to move that the minutes appear to be an accurate record.
Thank you, Councillor Emerson.
Happy to second, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Irwin. I'll put that to the vote. All in favour?
Yes.
Carried. 3, the matters arising from the minutes. Are there any matters arising from the minutes? Nothing. Any presentations and awards? No. Presentation of petitions and joint letters. Disclosures of conflict of interest at a council meeting. Informal meetings of councillors. A resolution that a report on informal meetings of councillors be approved. Could I have a mover, please?
Happy to move, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Irwin. Could I have a seconder?
Happy to second.
Thank you, Councillor Dempsey. All in favour? Carried. Items brought forward. Okay, item 9.1.1, which is the enhanced lifestyles and community. Could I have a recommendation, please?
Mr Mayor, I'll move that the Council notes the Council Action Plan report for the 1st of August to 31st of October 2023 period and approves the forecast plan.
Thank you, Councillor Irwin. Could I have a seconder, please?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I certainly would like to second that motion.
Thank you, Councillor Ostarovich. Councillor Irwin.
Yes, Mr Mayor. Look, this is the action plan is how we're progressing, various tasks along the way. I think everything's progressing quite well. There's a few red items, but they are being addressed in the background. But look, generally the action plan is progressing along quite well. We've achieved a lot and there's still a lot to be achieved, but progressing well, and congratulations to all the officers concerned who keep pushing the action plan along.
Thank you, Councillor Irwin. Councillor Ostasevich.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Yes, in agreement with what Councillor Irwin has just said. There are some projects that are running slightly behind. Some of them are the result of our renewed push to stay within budget, frankly, and that's going to take some time to resolve. Cases in point are the Navarre and Great Western sporting facilities. Although the Great Western facility now is pretty much on track, the Navarre project has been one that's been challenging, because it was originally focused on two separate areas, and we've been able to now consolidate. Our staff have been able to now consolidate that into one, and that has incurred some time. So I commend the action plan.
Thank you, councillor. Does any other councillor wish to speak? Is that right? Or was someone first? Does any other councillor wish to speak? Would you like to sum up, please, Councillor Irwin?
Nothing further, Mr Mayor.
Right, I'll put that to the vote. All in favour? Against? Carried. (9.2.1). This is planning permit for 2 Berg Street stall Grampians Gate Caravan Park. Could I have someone to read out the recommendation or an alternative recommendation?
Mr Mayor, I'll move option 4, and that is the Council supports the officer's recommendation and determines to issue a notice of decision to grant a planning permit for the replacement fence, subject to permit conditions as outlined in the attached planning report, except for the amended condition 1, which is to state instead. Point 1, before the development starts, amended plans for the satisfaction of the responsible authority must be submitted to the approved and approved by the responsible authority. When approved, the plans will be endorsed and will form part of the permit. The plans must be drawn to scale with dimensions noted. The plans must be generally in accordance with submitted but modified to show a maximum height of the fence, no higher than 2 metres, amended design of the fence to remove the camouflage material and replace it with an alternative material and or fencing design which better suits the neighbourhood character, with materials, colour and design to be satisfaction of the responsible authority.
Thank you, Councillor Irwin. Could I have a seconder, please?
Mr Mayor, I'd like to second.
Thank you, Councillor Sturridge. Councillor Irwin.
Yes, Mr Mayor. Look, it's been a bit of a controversial fence, and I don't think camouflage material fits in with the neighbourhood character. I freely admit that our planning needs to be strengthened a little bit around neighbourhood character, and I'm sure that that will be done in the future. But our officers have worked really hard to try and make this fit, but and I've been very supportive of businesses, but this one I think pushes the pale a little bit too far. To put up it was originally a 3 metre high camouflage fencing material, highly flammable, doesn't fit into the character of that area. So this is one thing I am not in favour of.
I understand. Thank you, Councillor Irwin. Councillor Sturridge.
Yes, thank you, Mr Mayor. It's appropriate to note that we are relatively weak in the area of neighbourhood character. We saw that in the Bowen Street discussions we had last year or the year before. Moving forward now, we have a situation where the proponent has wanted to put in a 3 metre tall fence that was camouflaged. Now, neighbourhood character would come into play if this was a military barracks. If this was adjoining Puckapunyal, I have no problem with that concept. This is adjoining the Grampians. This is adjoining a residential area. We heard from members of the community that were quite appalled by the notion of a camouflage netting to be used as a divider within the community. This has spurred a great deal of debate within council as to how we can approach this, and it will probably mean, and this may not tie us down, but I suspect it might, that we look at planting a living hedge against any material that the proponent chooses to employ. And certainly if we had said nothing, then the urban camouflage may have appealed to the paintballing fraternity, but certainly not to residences that have to look upon it. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor. Would any other councillor wish to speak?
Yes, Mr Mayor.
Yes, Councillor Emerson.
Yes, I agree with the motion as it stands. The visual appearance is in the eye of the beholder, I feel, even though we haven't got specific policies to help us make these decisions. But there was about 12 people from a very small street came to council and complained about it, and I'll be supporting their complaints today and supporting the motion of Councillor Irwin.
Thank you, Councillor. I'll put that motion to the vote. Just to clarify, it is option 4 as read. Sorry? Oh, yes, absolutely. Councillor Grady.
Yes, Mr Mayor, I'd just like to
Yes, that's right.
back up Councillor and start to pick on this camouflage fence. As they've said, it doesn't fit the area at all. I went down there again on Saturday and had a look, and a fence like that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't match our like a caravan park. It's not a military base, so I'll be backing up this motion as it stands, and hopefully we can come up with a much better plan than what's been put to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Would you like to sum up? Nothing further? I'll put that to the vote then, please, councillors. It is option 4, remembering that. All in favour of option 4? Against? That's carried. Thank you. 9.3.1 is the Stall Aerodrome Master Plan. Could I have someone to read the recommendation, please?
Mr Mayor, I'll move that Council adopts the Stall Aerodrome Master Plan review.
May I have a seconder?
Mr Mayor, I'll second that motion. Thanks.
Councillor Irwin.
Yeah, look, I think the aerodrome at Stall is a great asset for the community, and it certainly served us well in terms of firefighting. But this is a review of that plan. A couple of things in there. Is an extension of the runway at some stage, not necessarily tomorrow, but at some stage, which will accommodate larger planes, and I think that will be a great thing and open up a lot of opportunities for the aerodrome at Stall. Also, the possibility of actually running an air show, maybe next year perhaps, or some stage. We're fortunate to have someone with some experience in that field, and if we can pull off an air show, I think it'll be a wonderful event that could have the possibility of attracting people to the aerodrome out there too, because I'm sure a lot of people that actually live within Stall haven't been to the aerodrome just out of Stall, and would be quite amazed to see progress that has been made out there over the years. So apart from that, there's only a couple of other minor tweaks really. The backbone of the work has been done out there, and an extension and strengthening of the runway is probably one of the few things left to do. It's one of the major things, but one of the few things left to do, and some tidy up around where the helicopters operate out of, and some small water issues that happen out at the airfield. So overall, a good review, and the backbone of the work has been done, but still plenty to do.
Thank you, Councillor Irwin. Councillor Grady.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. No, nothing further to add. I think Councillor Irwin summed it up very well. Thank you.
Thank you. Would any other councillor wish to speak? Councillor Starovich.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Now, this is by way of promotion for local council. Who knew that John Hunt would become a master at airport planning? So the skills transition to John Hunt that John Hunt's developed through this process has been immense. And can I say that the St Arnaud Veteran Car Club, although they don't know it yet, will be probably eager to participate in any air show, because they put on a very good show for us about 2 or 3 weeks ago, where we had some 400 attendees. I certainly believe that they would be participating in anything like that down at Stall. So well done to the team for developing this, and the St Arnaud end will be more than happy to participate and take home some shekels. Thank you.
Fantastic. Any other councillor wish to speak? Councillor Irwin, would you like to sum up?
Just a quick sum up. I should have said that the air bombers that operate out of Stall actually cover this area too, and We've made a few little adjustments out at St Arnaud Airport, and it all goes to add to the safety of the region, and it's certainly made a significant difference in the size of fires that we have in the region. So it is a great asset, and we're very pleased to have it right on our doorstep.
Thank you, Councillor Irwin. Being no one wants to say anything further, I'll put that to the vote. All in favour? Against? Carried. All right, 9.4.1 is the council meeting schedule. Could I have a recommendation, please?
Mr Mayor, I have to read this with my glasses on. I'm ageing now. The recommendation and the motion that I'd like to move is that Council adopts the proposed meeting schedule for 2024 as listed in the report.
Thank you, Councillor. Could I have a seconder, please?
Happy to second, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Ostarovich.
This is a continuation of what has happened over the past 3 years in this term, where we have council meetings alternating between Stawell and St Arnaud. There will be no change to that schedule, and that's what's proposed in the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Irwin. Nothing further. Would any other councillor wish to speak? All right, I'll put that to the vote. All in favour? Thank you. Carried. 9.4.2, appointment of council committee delegates and representatives 2024. Could I have a recommendation, please? Councillor
Yes, thank you, Mr
Emerson.
Mayor.
Thank you.
Happy to move that Council appoints the councillor and officer delegates for 2024 as detailed in the attached report, and dot point 2 that Councillor Emerson and Councillor Grady be reappointed as the council representatives on the Wimmera Southern Mallee Central Highlands Regional MAV representative group.
Thank you, Councillor. Could I have a seconder?
Yes, Mr Mayor, I'll second that motion.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Councillor Grady. Councillor Emerson.
Yes, thank you, Mr Mayor. This is a regulatory position we go through each year to appoint our representatives. Most of them are recommended between councillors at a preconceived meeting. It's not a decision-making meeting, but it's a meeting where each councillor has an opportunity to talk about the positions. The only decision we couldn't come up with was my second dot point, which was that myself and Councillor Grady be reappointed to the Wimmera Southern Mallee Central Highlands Regional Group for the MAV. So I recommend that motion to Council.
Thank you, Councillor Emerson. Councillor Grady.
Nothing further to add. Thanks,
Thank
Mr
you very
Mayor.
much. Thank you. Would any other councillor wish to speak?
Yes, thank you. I was planning to speak against this motion, as I have in the past, on the basis of lack of opportunity for other councillors such as myself to have opportunities on certain committees. As Councillor Emerson has stated, is clearly blocking me to have any further opportunity and to look at moving forward as a council, succession planning and providing equal opportunity, because we're all deputy mayors, aren't we? And the fact I don't have any, as I've said before, any of that opportunity to sit on North West Municipalities Association, MAV, Store Gift Event Management, any of the committees where there is, maybe some connection to the State Council or ability to engage more broadly. So just really highlighting that point, and I think based on the information provided, I'll be voting against this today.
Would any other councillor wish to speak? Councillor Emerson, would you like to sum up?
Nothing further, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. I'll put that to the vote. All in favour? Against? Carried. 9.4.3 is a proposed road naming of Maddox Road. Could I have a recommendation, please?
Mr Mayor, I'm happy that the Council gives public notice of its intention to name the unnamed road between Horsham Road and Grampians Road Stall as Maddox Road.
Yes, Mr Mayor, happy to second.
Thanks, Councillor
Yes, Mr Mayor, look, this is a fairly short road, but the Maddox family has been in Stall for quite some time, and it has taken a little while for this to come to light. I think it's been in the mix for about 12 months, but due to circumstances, it has been held back a little bit. But look, I think it'd be a very fitting tribute to the Maddox family, who I think of something like 150 years or so. 141, missed by 9. They've been around, and I think a couple of them might have went to tech school when I was there too. So it's a well-known family in the Stall area, and it'd be fitting to name a road after their family's name. I should have mentioned, I think there was a soft drink factory around that area, Cordial, which bore their name, and this would be a fitting tribute.
Thank you, Councillor Irwin. Councillor Emerson.
Yes, thank you, Mr Mayor. The Maddox family are a long-serving family in our community, and as Councillor Irwin has said, a very deserved recognition for their family having a road named after them.
Thank you, Councillor Emerson. Does any other councillor wish to speak? Councillor Ostarovich.
I'd just like to note that Councillor Irwin, having recently celebrated 20 years on council, now dates back to school with over 141 years of history. So, congratulations, Councillor Irwin. That's a magnificent feat.
Well done. Would you like to keep a sum up, Councillor? Right, I'll put that to the vote. Well, yes, I beg your pardon. Of course, Councillor Dempsey.
Yeah, that's right. From the information I'd received on this, as much of it is about the Maddox family, it was more about the, I can't remember his first name now, apologies, but it was named after the patriarch of the family, I suppose. And I know it's been a delayed process too, and so other things have come to light since then, such as, the gender equality plan and what was the other one? Okay, something else. That's okay. I've just forgotten what the acronym was, but yeah, I'd like to see in the gender equality moving forward as well that we do look at naming, street names and historical things after more women. So, yeah, I think that would be the way moving forward with the work that's been done, but understood in this situation that's is the way it is. So I'm hoping moving forward we can actually see the campaign of put her name on it become more prevalent internally and externally in our communities.
Thank you, Councillor Dempsey. Nothing further to add? I'll put that to the vote. All in favour? Against? That's carried. (9.4.4) Quarterly Finance Report. Would I have recommendation, please? Councillor Starowich.
The motion that is put is that Council notes the financial report for the first quarter ended 30 September 2023.
May I have a seconder?
Happy to second, Mr Mayor.
Councillor Irwin. Councillor Ostarovich.
Mr Mayor, we receive quarterly reports on the progress of Council's activities in a financial sense, often tied significantly with major projects that Council undertakes on behalf of the community. There's a few extra zeros in the column, and we've been lucky to receive some additional grants funding from the government, from various governments, state and federal, although the numbers are starting to squeeze. So as we start to go into a series of austerity measures, I suspect that we're going to see more pressure on council ratings and council rates for services and facilities. However, pleasing to see that we're still within track, and our debts that exceed 60 days are very small. So, and that's been one of the major issues that that we've been looking at, as well as how well we collect these funds. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Irwin.
Yeah, look, it is starting to get difficult times, and the amounts are getting smaller. But we did receive our whole amount for financial assistance grants in one lump sum, and that doesn't help the finance team work out the figures, but certainly appreciative of the money. But cost of living does hit councils as well as everyone else, and congratulations must go to our finance team and all the team really for keeping the coffers still in a reasonable shape.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak? Then I'll put that motion to the vote. All in favour? Against? Carried. Thank you. 9.4.5, Financial Hardship Policy and Rate Collection Policy. Could I have a recommendation, please?
Yes, Mr Mayor. I'd like to recommend the Council approves and the update financial hardship policy and the rate collection policy. Thank you.
Thank you. May I have a seconder?
Happy to second, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Irwin. Councillor Grady.
Yes, Mr Mayor. There's a few changes to the hardship policy. The key changes are define both hardship and financial hardship, and the circumstances when associated will be applied. Must not require a ratepayer to be assessed by a financial counsellor. Applications for hardship relief and financial hardship to be via written application with supporting documents. Rate waivers available on special circumstances at the discretion of the Manager of Financial Services and or the CEO, and interest waivers can be provided by the Coordinator's Property and Revenue. The rate cancellation policy, councillors must encourage earlier and more proactivity with ratepayers, must offer interest-free payment plans, deferrals, and define the application process and conditions for each. Defers to be for the period of the end of the financial year or 12 months maximum. Legal action must not be undertaken until 24 months after arrears notice has been issued or payment plan default notice is issued. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Grady. Councillor Irwin.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Look, Councillor Grady's outlined the changes in the policy. These were a result of the outcomes of Victorian State Government's 2020 rating review and the 2021 Ombudsman report, and the subsequent change in Local Government Legislative Amendment, Rating and Other Matters Act of 2022. I think our policy, the original policy, wasn't too far off the mark, and these just make it better.
Fair. All right. Any other councillor wish to speak? Councillor Emerson.
Yes, thank you, Mr Mayor. The changes in the policy are a natural progression to deal with what our communities are suffering in relation to pretty well survival in our lives these days. They're good changes. They're perhaps been forced upon us by the government regulations, but they're policy changes that we probably would have made anyway, and they're all directly associated with to the benefit of our people.
Thank you, Councillor Emerson. Any other councillor wish to speak? Councillor Grady, would you like to sum up?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Nothing further to add. Thank you.
Thank you very much. In that case, I'll put this to the vote. All in favour? Against? Carried. 9.4.6, Budget Development and Management Review, Policy Review. Could I have someone to read the resolution, please? Sorry, the recommendation. Councillor Storovich.
Yes, the recommendation which is being put forward as a motion that Council approves the updated budget development and management policy.
Thank you, Councillor. Could I have a seconder? Councillor Irwin.
Happy to second, Mr Mayor.
Councillor Starovich.
This document codifies how the budget's developed and specifies who, what, where, when and how budgets are developed, so that they are more transparent. In fact, each line item can be interrogated. The person that's responsible for that line item can be asked to provide the necessary information. So, by way of transparency, this is how the policy can be implemented, may be implemented. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Irwin. Nothing further. Any other councillor wish to speak on the matter? If not, I'll put that to the vote. All in favour? Against? Carried. Notice of motion or rescission? There are none. Reports from councillors' committees. We've got Queen Mary Gardens Group. What do I do with this? Reports from council, just go around the table. Okay, yeah. Reports from councillors. Lauren Dempsey.
Thank you. This month has been busy as every other. I've attended the Store Neighbourhood House AGM. It's been a busy month for AGM, so there'll be a few of those. So once again, as a councillor rep, I'll sit on that committee. There was a good turnout, which was good to see, and positive steps moving forward for the committee, as we've had a few years of getting the Neighbourhood House back on track with COVID and changes in leadership. The Grampians Health and Grampians Community Health AGMs I also attended, which they both began by acknowledging the 16 days of activism, which is going on this month, or from the 25th of November to the 10th of December, is the gender-based violence campaign that is the International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women. And it's something that they acknowledged within their organisations as a safe space there. And moving on segueing from that one, the Women's Health Grampians also had their AGM as well, with a similar topic of discussion, with their their topic of the day being together at the intersection, so discussing intersectionality, showcasing projects of equality for all and other wonderful things they're doing at the organisation, which they've been able to secure a lot of funding, and through that have been able to more than double their staffing base, which covers right across the Grampians region. And we had one of our MPs there, which was great. On from that as well, the Women's Health Grampians are also working in conjunction with Northern Grampians Shire and Ararat Rural City to, as part of the 16 days of activism, have the Men Speaking Up on Violence Against Women Forum, which is this Wednesday in Ararat at 6:30. I will be emceeing that event, and there'll be a panel of a male panel discussion as well around that topic, so is worthwhile attending if you're around. And the other one, I really couldn't come past discussing this after the statutory meeting last month and having an overwhelming amount of feedback from community councils and other shires across the state, people in public. I think there's been almost 700 YouTube views on something, which is probably a bit of record for council and probably not for the right reasons. So there was really disappointing feedback to be received on that from how the community witnessed the meeting unfolding, and the views of some people witnessing it from the room and from watching it online as well, the just disrespectful nature that was provided. So I just think that's something that really needs to be highlighted, because as we know through the AICD course, that culture and tone is set from the top, and us as leaders, as councillors for our communities, need to be the one setting that tone. We can't be rolling out gender equality acts internally and other bits and pieces if we're not setting that tone too and providing that opportunity for all. So on the basis of us all being deputy mayors, I look forward to having that opportunity provided to me this next 12 months.
Thank you. Councillor Ostatovich. I'm sure you'll tell me about Queen Mary Gardens.
Well, I wish I could, Mr Mayor. Unfortunately, I was absent for that meeting. However, most of the committee were absent. A few of the committee were absent because of COVID, the resurgence of COVID. So we are now entering another stage of that particular virus. There's been a number of committees I've been on in Senate, and the recurring theme is the image that's portrayed to visitors, and most notably the Senate Hotel and also the Botanical Hotel. The Senate Hotel has been in a state of repair for quite some number of months, perhaps even a year. I looked to my learned colleague there. We did have a situation where we had wire mesh netting that blocked off the footpath, which forced people to walk around the cars parked at the curb, exposing them to the direct effects of oncoming traffic, which includes B-doubles. I'm sure Barry Robertson will be very pleased to hear that the B-doubles issue on our local road here has taken note as well. We had a particularly good meeting with our local acting commander, Tim. He provided some really good details on the community policing efforts that have been placed here in St Arnaud. He also provided us at Scan with a very good update on the number of officers, serving officers that this town should have versus what they currently do have. And he noted that that they're currently operating on half load. So there'll be another up to 7 or 9 new officers coming into this area. Unfortunately, Tim lost 2 officers because of insufficient childcare facilities. So that's an ongoing issue for us all. So I put that on the table. That was one of the a really fantastic presentation by Tim Thompson. We had the Resilient Ready program launched, and Becca came to inform both Karen Heslop and myself about the activities of the Resilient Ready. It's more around the resilience as a consequence of emergencies, flooding, fires and that sort of stuff for local businesses, and how they can best recover from those circumstances. I would dare say that there's also some other things that she has up her sleeve in terms of resilience, in terms of economic downturn because of potential drought, etc., etc. So that program is being rolled out, and that's for the community to recognise coming through. I had the privilege of attending the Remembrance Day and offering a wreath on behalf of Council and the ratepayers of the Shire. It was really pleasing to see a tremendous turnout. I'm sure Bernie Casey will tell me I'm wrong, but I thought there were about 50 or 60 people there, perhaps more. It was really pleasing to see some of the young school kids there to place a wreath on the memorial just down here. That space that we have here for events like that is quite special, really. And I've got to say, I took the Mayor's place. You had other opportunities down at the stall to attend to. The Northern Grampians Shire Council signage strategy is being unrolled now. We're seeing some of the signs in the main street. There's some rollout in Stall about empty shop fronts. I'm hoping that we can get some of that activity here in St Arnaud to actually present a better face, not just for the community but for people coming through the town and staying. That's a work in progress. A significant issue coming up for the Stuart Mill area is the Stuart Mill Water Supply Incorporated group of people that are confronted with issues around the Water Act and how that's going to be implemented in terms of its role within the Murray-Darling Basin catchment cap. Believe it or not, the Avoca River does eventually find its way towards the Murray, and consequently the low-hanging fruit, I suspect, has been grasped, and now even Stuart Mill is not exempt from these type of activities. So there's a meeting with Peter Walsh and Mark Williams this week on Wednesday, I believe, that we'll be attending. So that will be an interesting conversation, I'm sure. I had the joyous opportunity to attend the Sunraysia Highway Improvement Committee meeting, where we had an interesting conversation about the roads that we are, particularly the Sunraysia Highway. This is specifically the Sunraysia Highway. And we had a very interesting discussion about the standards that apply to designing roads suitable for 2023 and beyond, rather than 1960 and the past. We have moved away from semi-trailers to B-doubles, and now, in fact, through this town we have road trains. So pavement design is just not keeping up, hasn't kept up, and we had a rather lengthy conversation where my good friend and colleague Trenton was right beside me, biting his tongue and letting me just go rampant about this. I do think that we have to highlight the fact that there's less bitumen on the road than potholes, and we have to have a program where we identify these things, because frankly the people that are responsible for this may not even attend to country roads. They may not drive them. So perhaps there's an opportunity for us to highlight these features, and frankly anyone that has a damaged rim as a consequence perhaps should send their bill to the Minister, just to refresh their memory of the costs of poor quality roads. Neil Roweth and a few others, and I'll mention Neil particularly because he did call me, and there were a few other people that were involved. We're looking at the condition of the Mechanics Institute, the danger to the pedestrians along that road, because the awning is in parlous state. I think it's actually beyond repair. It would have to be redeveloped. And to that end, also the town hall has some issues in terms of water egress that the community wants to see addressed. There was something else that I had as well. If I may bear your patience for a second, and I'll put my glasses on because I can't see very well nowadays. Anyway. Oh yes, the other thing that we have to be very clear about is helping our community clubs and service providers with the idea to register their club names and their organisations to have a piece of the action in terms of the recycling of cans and the like. There's a machine down at the industrial centre at the recycling centre. I'm not really sure whether the one at IGA has been installed yet or not. I didn't see it last time I was there last week. There's an opportunity for every club, for everyone that deposits cans, to allocate their money towards a particular club or service provider in town. I would commend any organisation to register for that service. On that note, thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Grady.
Yes, Mr Mayor, thank you. I attended we had the Northern Grampians Transmission Forum, which is keeping us up to pace with what's going on with wind farms in the area in the VNI West. I think your CEO Brent and the staff are doing a great job extracting information out of the government, because it's just like extracting teeth, but they're doing a really good job. We went to the VLGA Civility and Land Governance in Melbourne. Brent and myself attended that, and it was really concentrated on governance and basically how to run council meetings and how councillors should act. And I recommend councillors go to these, because we've got a bit to learn after the last few weeks. Great Western Futures Committee, attended that. I'd like to thank Justine for all the work she does helping me out down there, and we're moving along on there's quite a few projects in the wash at the moment, and it's we've got to make sure that we stick to our plans, priorities, and not just jump in and throw things in place where they shouldn't be, because we don't need to do works and then have to pull them out. So thanks to Justine for that. Southern Wimmera Renewable Research Association was another good meeting we had. Got some of the locals involved in that, and that's going to be an ongoing. So I think that's been really good for the BNI West transmission line and the local farmers to have their say. I also attended the BLGA housing key workers in Victorian towns, and that was interesting just to highlight the need for the housing and in our towns for workers. It's a really tough one, but there seems to be a lot of people working on it now, so it's quite good. I also sat in on the Cities with Nature Zoom meeting, which is quite interesting because they don't concentrate on towns. It's more like in the city how to set up your parks and all that. But I really think we can take some of their ideas and help us in country towns with our parks and gardens and how we set up new estates that are going in. There's quite a lot of information in Cities with Nature. It's really good. Also sat in on the VLGA AGM and Remembrance Day in Stawell. We had a great crowd there, and Councillor laid a wreath in Stawell. The Mayor done that, and we had a good turnout for Remembrance Day in Stawell. Really good. There was one other thing I wanted to point out to some people. I got sort of hammered last week about I have my mobile phone. They reckon I use my mobile phone during meetings. The reason I use my mobile phone is because I've got bad tinnitus, and I use this so I can hear what's going on in the room, and it doesn't set the volume automatically. So if someone's speaking quiet, I have to go into my phone and just up the volume. And so that's why at times in all meetings I go to, you'll see me, it looks like I'm mucking around with my phone, but I'm actually setting the volume up for this so as I can hear what's going on. All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, Councillor. Councillor Emerson.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'll be as quick as I can. This month's been a real month in overhead power lines, wind towers, and the planning, reintroduction of the planning processes in Victoria. Seems to have taken nearly all of my month, but in addition to that, I've also tried to fit in our local briefings and meetings as best I can. Heaps of opportunities out there for councillors who want to put their hand up and go to these meetings, and they're endless. You can just go to a meeting every day if you wish. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Irwin.
Yes, I'll be quick too. Did attend the Legacy Day, the Remembrance Day, and also the dinner at Ararat for Legacy. Online with the Australian Regional Institute, had a session with Liz Ritchie there. The Central Park mural, which I think will be a very good outcome, and also the Hutchings family, which you two attended. Hutchings family has a long association with Kallawatta, and it was great to catch up with him again and see the fruits of their labour in a very, very interesting book around the Hutchings family.
Certainly was. From
Devon to this area. Also, just a little congratulations, Illy, one of our Vanuatuans. I believe she qualified for the Olympic. Got a gold medal. I think 7 metres was the cut-off point in the shot put. She achieved that with 7.4, and she's now eligible to attend the Paralympics in Paris, whenever that is, 2026, is it? Yeah. So that was a great effort. Also went up to Queensland, to Surat Basin, to look at some of the pros and cons for alternative energy. Obviously, the coal seam gas has got quite a long history up there. A lot of things are transferable, but some aren't. Obviously, the visual impact's quite a different impact on the countryside, but it was interesting. Met up with some farmers up there, and I think the key message was don't sign anything. And I think that's one of the things that really divide communities. So hopefully we can change that down here. That was a couple of days up in Queensland, and also came over with Councillor Emerson to the business in Sonata. The business got a bit of competition today. The business strengthening in Sonata too, and that was a really good event. The girls worked hard to get quite a number of people along to that, so well done.
Thank you, Councillor. Well, I've had a busy month since being elected as the Mayor. It's a first-time experience for me, and it's been full on, actually. I've had all the usual governance training that goes on when you're a new Mayor. We had a meeting with the Department of Transport and Planning to do with, for their regional representatives to discuss the current issue of children's crossings in Stawell and in our Shire. And attended the first of 3 VLGA forums focusing on short stay accommodation taxes. This is a tax that the Victorian government is going to put on short stay accommodation that's supposed to free up housing in the rental market where people can't find housing. And what it's basically looking at is people that are turning houses in the suburbs into Airbnb establishments, making a higher yield out of the house and that way taking it out of the rent pool. And as I'm sure you're all well aware, we've got a rental shortage or a housing shortage at the moment, especially in our Shire, especially in Stawell and of course here in St Arnaud. So that was very informative, and just the effects that these taxes will have. Will they actually free up housing, or will they put a dent in our tourism dollars that come into the area, all of that? I did my first official engagement on November the 11th, Remembrance Day, as Mayor in Stawell, and it was a good day, wasn't it, Trevor? We had quite a good turnout there outside the library in Stawell. I had a radio interview on the ABC with Rebecca Lowe in Horsham, where we focused on the pre-prep buildings in St Arnaud. V&I West for option 5 transmission. Quarterly catch-up with Grampians Health CEO Dale Fraser and Chair Bill Brown. I have been quite critical of Grampians Health in the recent past, and they have made a lot of improvements since that time, and I'm happy to report that there have been enormous improvements, actually not just small improvements, in both the hospital and the medical centre in Stawell especially. The MAV ran a rural and regional forum in Bendigo. Some of us attended in person. I attended online. That was very interesting. The Southern Wimmera Renewables Research Association meeting to discuss the wind facilities around here, and I know they're all important on everyone's mind as to what's happening to our landscape and our farms. And I also opened the GPT 100 miler, which is a new 164 kilometre, we call it a running race. It's a run along the Grampians Peaks Trail. And it's cut into there is a certain group of people that do the 164 kilometres, believe it or not, in one hit. It takes them 22 hours, and they run day and night. And then there are other ones where they've got small bites where they might do 40 or 50 kilometres a day and then stay overnight. It was quite a big event. There were over 300 contestants, and a lot of the food and things were taken up to the stations along the way so as they could have their food and sleep and eat and do everything. It was very, very interesting. That's you can look that one up, the Grampians Peaks Trail, 100 miler. Of course, it's over now, but there's some wonderful photography on it, and you can see the people doing that. I had an MAV online meeting. I met, which was very interesting, councillors and representatives from around the region, listening to their ideas and their challenges from different councils. Their list goes on. There's so many things here, and I'm sure some of it's a bit boring. We also went down and had a look at the new pre-prep building that's been completed in Stawell, which is exactly the same as the ones that are proposed for St Arnaud. They'd put one of them up, which is half of the building, and it was very impressive. It's a really nice building, and if you're over in Stawell and you want to go for a drive-by, it's interesting to look at how far these modular buildings have come and how nicely styled and well laid out they are. Anyway, that's it from me. All right, moving along. I have a resolution that the reports be received. Councillor Irwin.
Happy to move, Mr Mayor.
Thank you.
Happy to second, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Can I put that to the vote? All in favour, passed. All right, any urgent business? No urgent business? Okay, public question time. I've got a few questions here. We've got, I'll deal with the ones that were received beforehand. Do we have Peter Rose or Ian Moerman here? No. Could we, these are to do with Karapui. If I can give those to you, Trenton, if you can deal with getting back to them. Their addresses are on the sheet.
Yes, just in, so council received a public question from Peter Rose and Ian Moorman. What are council's future intentions in relation to Mine Lane Pit at Karapui? We have observed trucks occasionally entering the site, and we're aware that it still contains quantities of packing sand, etc. Local residents wish to see the whole site properly rehabbed. So in response, there is a cease on excavation activity in the pit for the moment. It is believed that there is further material within the work authority that council has in that land that we can obtain in the future. Further investigation is planned to determine the extent of material that remains available and which will inform future management of the site. In the meantime, the work authority remains in place and allows council to continue to use the site and undertake activities out of the site in accordance with our approvals. Like any Earth Resources Work Authority, council is required to rehabilitate the site and the area back to existing conditions once the work authority has exhausted and concluded. Thanks.
Great. Thanks, Trenton. These, your answers to these questions will be sent through to them in writing. Thank you. Now, I have a couple of questions that were given without notice here. Jane Sutherland, are you here? Oh, I've got two Janes. Jane, would you like me to read your questions? I can read them. All right, that's fine. Would you like to come up? Excellent. Well, you can sing them if you like, Jane.
No, not at all. I'm Jane Sutherland. I'm a resident of St Arnaud, 64 Elmer Street, St Arnaud. My first question is, what interaction has the council had with the EPA re-water leakage from the St Arnaud pool? My second question is, what actions are being taken to repair the leakages at the St Arnaud swimming pool? And third, when is the pool expected to reopen?
Trenton, would you like to answer those questions? Bring us up to date on the swimming pool, please.
I'll do my best.
Thank you.
I won't be able to open in the opening. So, the St Arnaud pool. The St Arnaud pool, we've been working on investigating the leakages over the last 9 months. We have undertaken a structural analysis of the site. We have undertaken a radar geological investigation of the site. Those assessments have effectively concluded that the pool is structurally and geologically sound. The leaks are not a factor of those things. The leaks that we believe that the leaks are occurring in the pipe work and surrounding infrastructure that enables the pool to operate. That's what we believe the leaks are at. At the moment, we have some work in place that captures water leaking out of the pool into a sump pump, and we're re-putting that back in the pool. That water is tested, etc. Our requirements with the EPA is that we are not allowed to have water leaking into the stormwater system, and therefore we're not allowed to operate if we do. So we've been very active to try and retain that leak. Every time we believe we get somewhere with it, it seems to hold up for a couple of days, and then we find the leak comes back. At the moment, we believe we have a handle on it, but this is always touch and go, always. Once we believe we've got a handle on the leak, we believe the pool will be able to be opened. At this point in time, I cannot make comment on when exactly that will be.
Thanks, Trent. All right. Jane Grant. Hi, Jane. Thank you, if you would. Jane's got 2 questions.
All right to get an answer in writing?
Yes.
Thanks.
We can arrange that.
Is the Northern Grampians Shire Council aware that the elms in Golden Street and the yellow gums in Market Square car park were nominated to the National Trust in early July 2023? The National Trust informs me that it explained this to you by letter, urging you to protect the trees. That's the first question. Will the Northern Grampians Shire Council confirm or deny it knew about the nomination of the elms before the public knew it intended to site the charging stations beside them? Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. We'll get back to you with answers to those questions in writing. Thank you so much. All right. Now we have to move into... Oh no, I go to the next one. We have to go into closed council now, so I would ask that the public gallery be cleared. Oh yes, I will do that. Can I have a motion to move in camera?
Happy to move that we move into closed council, Mr Mayor.
Could I have a seconder? Thank you, Eddie. All those in favour? Carried.
So we'll just wait for the folk to show up. Thank you, Mr Mayor. Pleased to report on the outcomes of the closed council meeting. 14.1, Council agreed to award contract C3 2023-24 provision of transfer station services, St Arnaud, 10K and KM Berthistle, trading as Eco Swish Recycling for their submitted schedule rates. Thank you.
There being no further business, I declare the meeting closed at 1:36 p.m. Thank you.